Okay there, folks. I do hope you're well, one and all. Be you a subscriber to me, or somebody that's visiting on the back of a video that you've just watched. Right, I'll give you a bit of insight into that. I've just done a video. It's Thursday the 28th of December. I've just done a video that's coming out at 8 PM tonight on Thursday the 28th. And it's entitled, Why Did I Start a YouTube Channel? And within that, it gives an explanation, or part explanation, to my current subscribers and those that visit me from time to time. But it also gives an insight to those that are going to watch this video now, okay? And then on the back of this video are going to be unhappy with some of the things I may say about people that they really like and have really bought into. But I'm saying, before you get onto the comment section and have a real pop at me, please first, although you don't have to, but please first, look at the video I posted last night saying, why did I start up a YouTube channel? Have I said it the right way? I think I. Bear with me a sec. Why did I start up a YouTube channel? Yes. Right. And it'll tell you more. Right. I'm going to do a series of videos now. There's going to be about 11 of them over the next 5 or 6 days. This video you see now has been recorded tonight on Thursday the 28th. It will air on Friday the 29th at 8 PM. There'll be one I'm going to record in a moment following this that'll air at 8:30. And thereafter I aim to put out 2 a day over the next 5 or 6 days if things work out that way. I can't promise they will, but loosely speaking, that's what I'm looking at. I'm going to look at about 11 different YouTube channels, and it's going to explain how and why I got into YouTube. And it's going to start with the earliest one I've seen, the first one I've seen, and it's going to tell you from progression from channel to channel what I seen within these channels that I thought, oh, I could do this, or I could do that, or I couldn't do this, or I couldn't do that. And it'll give you an idea of what made me think of setting up my own YouTube channel. Now, just for some clarity and to be upfront with yourselves, I've had a channel now for about 7-8 months. I think its inception was about 3rd week in March, but I don't think I put my first video out until about the end of April. So I've been training about 8 months now. It's been going for about 8 months, or maybe a bit more, a bit less, without me counting. It's had no push off anybody whatsoever. No friends, no relations, no nothing. No other YouTubers have pushed it to anybody else. It's all been off my own back. I've not pushed it to anybody. I just put out videos on a daily basis. People see them, and some subscribe, and some maybe do tell others. I don't know. I'm somebody that doesn't go on about subscribers on a daily basis and bang on and on and on. I don't like to do that. I hate doing it. There is that on there which you may be able to see, you may not. But I don't like what everybody else does, because it just does my nutting when everyone's on about subscribers all the time. But obviously I'm like everybody else, I want more. If you've watched that video I've just done on the YouTube, if you watch this video and any others that are doing this this series of videos that you like, just jump on board, you're more than welcome. But you don't have to. I'm going to tell you about me, and I'm going to let you know why I've gotten into YouTube, as I say, and I'm going to critique different videos different channels of different people's. When I say critique, there'll be some where I give nothing but praise, some where I give nothing, just knocking them, some I give both. But I'm going to be dead honest, I'm going to be even-handed, and nothing's going to come from a point of nastiness or jealousy or envy or badness. I'm just going to tell you what I like about each channel, what I've picked out, and what I've tried to use myself, or what I've not tried to use, or where I've thought, well, if he can do that, she can, I can do this, or they can do that. My channel is as amateur, well, you can see how amateur it is. I'm working from a small studio, no graphics, no music, no editing, just me. No script. Nobody's doing what I do. I do loads of videos per day, I put out loads per day, but I also work full time. It's difficult working full time, but at the moment I'm doing it. As I say, I'm going to give you my insight into various channels, and I'm going to let you know how they were, predominant's the wrong word, how they influenced me to open a channel. That's what I'm going to do. Right, without any further ado, as they say, this one will be the longest of the lot, so I'll just give you that long preamble. We'll start with this channel. You can see in the thumbnail, you already know it's Rick and Shelley. Okay, Rick and Shelley are based in Tenerife, both entertainers. When I first came across them, I think Shelley, professional singer, Rick, maybe compere, maybe not doing it full time, maybe testing the waters really. He's now a full-time compere. I've met them both, one on a number of occasions, one less so. Definitely fans of one of them. Don't mind the other at all, but I'm a fan of the one that I've seen the most of because I think she is brilliant without trying to give anything away. But the story behind me getting to the Rick and Shelley channel is this. For many a year I've gone on holidays. I mean, many years ago I was pretty successful in business, not as much so of late. And most of my holidays would be spent in Europe or the US of A, probably as much in the US of A as anywhere else. Although I've only been to say 4 or 5 destinations in the US, but I used to go on a yearly basis, a couple of times, maybe twice a year, but usually once a year. We'd also holiday in Europe. I've not been all over Europe as many do. I'm not really up for culture and whatever else. That said, I'm not for lying on beaches neither. But I prefer sort of a bit of sun, bit of drink, and a lot of nightlife, even at my age. Though nightlife now is more eating rather than partying, but I do both. Anyway, over the last sort of 10 or 15 years, our 2 favourite holiday destinations, one would be in Turkey. We probably went to the same destination about 7 times in 10 years. I know many might say, well, that's boring, why don't you look elsewhere? But we loved it, and when you love somewhere and you know everything about it and you know you're going to like it, I find now as I'm getting to the age I'm getting, I'm set in my ways, and if I like somewhere, I'll go back knowing I'm going to really enjoy it, rather than try somewhere that I may or may not enjoy. And we also like Tenerife. Now, over the last few years, we've been Tenerife more than anywhere else. And over the last 3 years, I think at least, we've been every year, maybe even 4 years now. But this is the story about me with YouTube. So, we went to Tenerife this year. We're in December now. We went probably end of August, I think it was. Sorry, end of October. Might be early. It was October. It might have been early October. I don't know them coming and going sometime. We went in October. Last year, 2022, we went in September. And it was before we went in September of 2022. I'm looking through YouTube, just messing around, as I do. I don't do much on YouTube, never had done really. But I think there's a couple of programs, sporting programs, that were premiered on YouTube that I wanted to watch, and it was an easy way of seeing them. And as I'm flicking through looking for the programs I wanted to watch, I'm seeing different videos regarding Tenerife and different, I think they're called vloggers, but I don't know. Maybe I'm a vlogger, I don't know. I don't know what a vlogger is, I don't know what a content creator is. I don't know what one is from the other. But anyway, I'm flicking through stuff and I come across this Rick and Shelley. Knew nothing about them, but they're based in Tenerife. Anyway, it turns out, I think that they'd started the channel probably during one of the lockdowns. I believe during lockdown they were doing things like bingos and quizzes and various things with people from Tenerife and obviously from GB as well that regularly go to Tenerife. They got something of a following. I believe they did really well. They were often dressing up and doing fancy dress things. I believe it went down really well. And Shelley's a singer, a professional singer, and she also on a Sunday started doing songs for people from, I think, from her apartment, from a villa or whatever it may have been. And I think I fell into one of these and I heard a voice and I thought, oh my God, this girl is sensational. And I mean, to my ears, really sensational. And what I loved about her was she had a range of songs, a massive range of songs, probably one of the greatest ranges I've ever come across. So I started to listen to her, and then I seen the odd video of hers that had been done in various bars, some of the bars that we'd frequented in the past, although I'd never seen one. I'd been to Tenerife, I'd seen other artists, but I'd never seen her. To my mind, I'd never seen anybody as good as her. To my mind, there was nobody on the island as good as her, as a singer that is. And I thought, I've got to see her when I go there this year. So anyway, we went in 2022, and it was all a bit embarrassing. I mean, it probably wasn't for her, but it was for me for all I was doing it. In about 2.5 weeks, we've seen her about 8 times. I think she'd go to a venue and think, oh no, it's them again. But we wasn't stalking her. You know, we went one night, I think first night to see her, and loved her. So I said to other act, let's go tomorrow. It's a bar we like. Let's go there. There's another acting after us, so we did. And then there'd been a couple of nights where we had nowhere to go, nothing planned. And we're walking down one of the streets there, and all of a sudden we'd see she was singing here or there, and I'd say, look, do you want to go again? I know we've seen her loads, but we know she's going to be good. We know the Saturday night's going to be different, or do you want to go elsewhere? And a couple of nights, you've had enough walking, or I've said, no, we'll go in there. Anyway, we did. Got on with her really well. At the end of the holiday, I seen her in a bar that she does on a Thursday afternoon. More about that later. And I actually bought her and a fellow a drink. Well, I'll give him some money to get a drink. And I said, look, you're worth it. You've not met me to a fella. You don't know me. But we've seen her 7 or 8 times. I feel awful because it's almost like we've been stalking her. Please get yourself and her a drink with this after we've gone. Tell her after we've gone. I don't want anyone coming over and thanking us and not into all that. We've not done it to have any thanks or whatever. Just, he said, thank you very much. That's great. Anyway, that was it. And I think I might have told him I'd seen him on YouTube, the both of them first. Thought they were great. Really enjoyed it. Anyway, since then, I've watched them on YouTube virtually every Sunday. They put a video out every Sunday about 2 p.m, I think it is. I never tend to watch it then because I'm watching football. The football's on, or I'm doing something with the family, or we're having a Sunday dinner. But I'll watch it Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday evening. The wife will often say, "Why are you watching that again?" Because all they do is talk amongst one another. But I like it. I don't get involved in the live chat. They do a lot of that. I don't get involved in that. I never have done. I'm not for all that. But it suits a lot of the followers and it suits them, and that's great. And they read the messages back and too whilst they're answering questions and whatever. And I just quite like it. It kills an hour and it's something that I enjoy doing. I might do it at night time after the other half's gone to bed maybe, or when I'm reading the newspaper, and I enjoy it. And at one time she used to sing songs on a Sunday as well. They've done a few lives where they've been out on a Sunday and she's sung songs. And then they virtually stopped doing that because they've moved apartments and they don't do that anymore. But I like the show and I listen to it. Now I have got some thoughts on the channel and on themselves, because that's what it is. It's a critique, as I say. Now, before I get to that, we went again this year, in, as I say, about October of this year, and we went with friends. And I thought the friends had loved them. Now, we didn't see Shelley as many times. We only seen them probably 2-3 times in the fortnight. And I've got to say, one time I thought she wasn't as good as the norm. But maybe that was me and I wasn't paying full attention. But I know over the last 6 months or so, she's had a lot of trouble with her throat. And cold, she's had a lot, and I've seen it on a channel. And maybe it was that, but I think part of it was, I've been to clubs in Great Britain before. When I say clubs, like your working men's clubs, your labour clubs, your conservative clubs, all these kind of clubs, with family, and many family when there's an act on, they just talk all the way through it. Now, whether it's a singer to me or a comedian, if they're any good, I'll listen to everything. If they're crap, maybe I'll talk a little bit, but I'm often the one that's listening to everything, because if they're good, I don't want to miss them. I can talk when they're not on. When I would have seen Shelley a couple of years ago, I'd listen to every song she did. I mean, there's one song she does, 2 songs she does on a regular basis. One of her to say she doesn't like doing it bores her. It bores me as well, but everybody does it. And one is another staple of a set that I think she does poorly. When I say that, she doesn't phrase it well, and it's a really well-known song. Can she sing it? Of course she can. She's brilliant. She could sing it easily. But I just think it's not phrased right, but I critique anything and everything. But as a singer, I don't think there's anybody to touch her, or didn't until I went this year. More about that in a moment. I think she's by far and away the best girl on the island. Well, that's just my opinion. That's what I think. I think she's brilliant. I spoke to Rick, a partner, when I was there this year, and I mentioned about professional singers, and I sort of said about Shelley not being a professional singer. What I meant by that, professional singer to me, is somebody that you go in and pay money for, and I mean 10, 20, 30, 40 quid, and it's a night time, it's in a big theatre, blah, 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 blah. I'd class Shelley as semi-professional, because although she does it for a living, I don't class when they do pubs and bars as professional, but obviously it is. And I think he was a bit upset when I said that. He said she's been professional for 30 years. I never had a chance to speak to him. I didn't mean it in a derogatory way. I mean, I think she's better than many people who pay 10, 20, 30 or 40 quid for her. And I told her that a couple of years ago, and I'm not joking. I think she's a girl that should have made it. I think she's that good. She really should have made it. But some people get breaks, and some people don't in life. But she should have done a lot more than she's done now, and she's doing great now. I think she's that good. But anyway, I said we've seen her this year, and there was one time I thought she wasn't quite as good. And I really wanted our friends who we went away with to really like her and really get into it, and they didn't. But they talked all the way through it and didn't give her a chance really. And something she does as well irked them. And I'll explain what it is in a moment, but it doesn't irk me because I quite agree with it. But anyway, I watched the channel and I watched it on a regular basis, and I like them. And I like the community that they've got, and I like the way people love them, and they're on every week. Every time they do what they call a live on a Sunday afternoon, there's 150 to 250 people there messaging back and to them, and they also message each other, and it's great. And I wish I had that on my channel, although my channel doesn't do lives, and it's a totally different kind of channel. But I do know when my channel's built up and I've got the kind of following they've got, I will get even more comments and there will be more interaction. And I'm envious of that, but not in a nasty way. That's not why I'm saying anything against them at all, because most of what I'll say about them both is positive. I think they're great. I like them. I think she is fantastic. But anyway, as I said, we went this year and we didn't follow her like we did the year before, which is probably good for her, and she's got enough of a following there, so she didn't need us following her. But I still think she's absolutely brilliant. But a few things about the channel that I would say is, I'm watching it often and the wife will say, why are they always laughing? They're always laughing, the both of them. I said, well, maybe they just like it. Maybe they like each other's company. You know, maybe that's all it is. Maybe it's in part a an act, not in a nasty way, but just so they come across as jolly, and they want people watching them to be jolly. But the fact that they laugh back at them doesn't bother me. I'm not saying it bothers the wife, but she can't get how they're constantly laughing, often for things that aren't really funny. But then again, we all see things differently, don't we? What I think's funny, the wife might not, and vice versa. What I think's funny, Rick or Shelley might not, and vice versa, because that's just us. What my friend didn't like, my friends, but especially the girl amongst us, and I don't get this at all, when they do Hoppies, they do a place called Hoppies every Thursday afternoon, and they do a live there, they record it all, and it goes down really, really well. They had over 10,000 listening the other week, and rightly so, because Shelley's brilliant, as I say. She does like 2.5 hours there. I think she does an hour and a half spot. Then she has 10 minutes off, and when they have the 10 minutes off, they walk around and have a collection, often in a hat, and everybody gives towards it, and you give them a song to do, and she tries to do the song for €5 or €10. My friend doesn't get that. My friend said, well, when you're in there anyway, and you're buying your drink, you shouldn't have to pay more. And I know how it works, and I tried to explain it to them, but they just didn't get it and weren't having it. I said, they do that in another bar there called the Calypso. I said, the bars aren't massive bars. They're not making a fortune on a weekly basis, but these are their biggest days, Thursday afternoon in Hoppies and Saturday afternoon in the Calypso. They get full houses in there, they've got great acts on, and to keep the act for an hour, hour and a half longer, they'll give them more songs, they have to pay more money and they can't really afford it. So the crowd put together in a hat, and whatever's collected they give to the artist, and the artist is happy to do another hour, hour and a half. I don't mind that at all. I don't even mind if I don't give a song in. I don't even mind if I give a song in and she doesn't get to sing it and I've given me €5, because for €5 more, what's that? It's nothing. And beer in these places is really cheap. It's cheaper than back at home. And if I can get another hour out of a fantastic artist, I don't mind giving to it. That said, if I thought the artist was crap, I probably wouldn't give to it. In fact, I'd probably go before they did the last hour. But Shelley isn't. She's brilliant. So my pals didn't get that, especially the girl amongst us. It's not that she's tight. She just thinks it's wrong. I don't. I've got no problem with it whatsoever, and would always and will always give to it. Yeah, subscription-wise, they've got, I think, 8,460. They started their channel in 2020, so they're doing pretty well. A lot better than myself, as I say. They're another channel that's always going on and on and on about more subscribers, but I know you have to do it, but it just irks me. But that's probably because that's probably why I can't do it. They've had a running gag going for 2 months now where they've wanted to get them up to £10,000 because that's all Shelley wanted for Christmas. It's a joke on Rick's part, I know that. But I think they've got about a couple of hundred people more in the space of about 2.5 months. I would say it's not a lot. I would say if he stopped going on and on and on and on and on about it and making a thing of we want it for Christmas, I think they may have got more. But I could be wrong. You know, maybe they've got to as far as they're going to get now, but I wouldn't have thought they have. You know, if some weeks they're getting 10,000 watching them at Hoppies, I think they can get more subscribers, but I think they'll just come. Do they say organically? I think they'll just come, because I think between them both, they're good. And they're great to watch, and as I say, I virtually never missed them. I think they're probably the most second watch channel I give on a weekly basis to, other than sport channels. I think she's the best female vocalist on the island. I thought she was the best vocalist on the island until I went there this year, and now I think it's close. There's a guy called, is it Michael Levy Jr.? More about him later. Michael Levy Jr., that I think is absolutely fantastic as well. Absolutely brilliant. One thing I will say is often when Rick introduces Shelley on a Thursday afternoon, he calls her the best vocalist on the island. Sometimes he says possibly or probably. Often he says the best, and I think he should just drop that. Because although I think it's right, and I agree with him, it comes from a wrong place when a partner's saying it, I think. And I think you'll have others on the island, other artists that think he shouldn't be saying that, or other women vocalists that'll think, well, I'm as good as her, or I'm better than her, or whatever else. I don't think he should be saying that, but he does. But I agree with it. I agree with it 100%. I think she's the best female vocalist on the island. I think she's one of the best female vocalists I've heard in my life. And I've heard some top vocalists selling out 20, 30, 40, 50,000 arenas. That's how good I think she is. They do some food reviews from time to time. They don't do many, which is good because there's enough people doing that. What I like about the food reviews is I think, one, they're very, very honest. Two, they tend to do the review after they've eaten, the full review, which I agree with. I don't want to see people eating. They cut the camera when they're eating, which I agree with. But what I really like about the food reviews is they go to places that many other people haven't been to or don't go to. They go many off the beaten track and many you wouldn't think are going. And I like that because it's going to send me to a few of the places that they go to when I next go there. I went one this year that I'd never been before. I can't even remember what it's called, and I know it well. It's on the front of Fannaby Beach, and Rick's favourite dish there is the steak tacos. I had them myself. Out of this world. As good as any steak tacos I've ever had in my whole cream puff, in my whole life. Brilliant. Can't think what it's called, but if you watch Rick and Shelley's channels, you'll know what it is. And that's about it, I think. That's it for the channel. I think it's great. I really enjoy it. It was the first YouTube channel I started to see, and maybe at that time I thought to myself, maybe I could do something, maybe not. A bit further down the line with a couple more channels, that's when I really thought I could. But it's credit to Rick and Shelley that first got me, piqued an interest in YouTube for me. And that's it from me.